Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to Jim Sports Cards. I'm Jim, so let's talk about sports cards. So, for today's YouTube video, I had a completely different YouTube video already made, ready to go. Unfortunately, changes to PSA and the update that they provided us with last night, being Tuesday the 30th of March, has completely changed the hobby for at least the next 3 months and how we operate here at Jim Sports Cards. So this video is going to be a very simple video where all I'm going to do is sit here, talk to you guys completely openly and honestly what's going on, what we think about it, and what we're going to do about it. So if that's not the kind of video for you, then fine. If not, grab yourself a cup of tea, grab yourself a snack, and have a listen. So I don't really have a set script or structure for this video, so I'm just going to speak what's on my mind and we'll see where it takes us. So if you're not already aware, last night PSA suspended all service levels below Super Express. Conveniently, all 4 service levels that we offer at Jim Sports Cards. That's both value submissions, the modern and the ultra modern. They'd already suspended the base service which we used to offer, which is their regular service, our Express and our Express Plus. All gone, all suspended, and we don't really know when they're going to come back. The latest information we have from PSA is they intend to have all services back up and running by the 1st of July. So that's a maximum of 3 months. The hope we get in this is that they're reintroducing the service levels in a tiered approach. So each service level will come back at its own timeline when we're ready to do so. It won't be all 3 back at once. This was completely out of the blue and no one had information. Whilst I can sit here and feel sorry for myself and what it means for my business and the collectors that put their faith and trust in us to keep their cards safe and submit them, my heart really goes out to people like Graded Gem in the UK who the hobby has grown exponentially and so have they. They employ a lot of people. And now they've been closed for a month and now they're having to be closed for another 3 months because PSA shut. There's huge group submitters that have 20, 30,000 followers on Instagram in the US that were told the exact same way everyone else was with a message on the website. And it's really tough to take. I can't lie. I know people will say, oh, well, they can't give notice because then everyone will send in their cards straight away. That's true. But I think they needed to bite the bullet on this one and say, okay, we'll give them 24 hours. Because in our situation, I have every single one of the cards for submission ready to go. They've all been cleaned, inspected and packaged, ready to be sent. I was sat here yesterday evening filling in over 200 cards worth of submissions into the PSA website, all for PSA to completely delete them. And they're wiped. I went back to them as soon as I heard the news. All of the items were still there, but all the submission levels were blank because they didn't exist anymore. So for someone like us, it's hard. The way, I have to think that it's just unlucky because what if way back when I decided to set up my business, I said, oh, instead of the last submission date being Monday, I said Sunday. And then the inspecting happens on the Monday and the sending happens on Tuesday. And we would have just sent it to them now. But there's also a risk in that. So it is very unlucky for us. The flip side is if you have your cards at PSA, this is good news for you. Because everyone from our first submission, anyone else who has cards already at PSA, this is good news because they're taking care of their own problems in-house. Which it stings us now in the short term. And I'll talk about what impact that has on us as a business and our collectors in a short while. But in the long term, it is a good thing. PSA has accepted that they can't keep stocking up cards and stocking and stocking and stocking. They have to say enough is enough. We need to get through our backlog and we need to get it done because the people who have already paid and the people who have already submitted with us come first, which is completely fair and I 100% agree with. I think they could have done it in a better way, not doubling prices 3 weeks ago and then suddenly shutting it all down. But c'est la vie. This is how it is. In the long term, this will be a good thing. Submissions will be back more often and cards will be returned quicker. What does this mean for Jim Sports Cards? So every submitter that has submitted with us through our second submission has now been contacted and I've been in regular communication with anyone that has reached out to me. We are under control and we are sorting the situation as best as we know how. One positive to come out of this situation is the kindness and the kind words that have come from people. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you I wasn't terrified for the last 24 hours. I felt like I had let everyone down, that everyone that has submitted with me has now lost complete faith in me and the business. And to hear so many people say so many kind words saying, I'm sure you're getting inundated with messages, and being appreciative of the level of difficulty that we're currently dealing with. Human kindness really can outdo the worst, and I have to thank every single person that's reached out with kind words so far, because it is definitely appreciated. The next topic, because I'm not going to go into what's going into our current submission, because that is between me and the collectors in that submission. What we are doing is later this week we will be launching a Super Express service. The reason we're doing this is because there are a lot of people I've been in contact with that want to use that service. That service is still open at PSA, and I expect wait times will not be the same as they are now, because a lot of people, while Super Express is still open, will take those cards from the Express and move them up. If you have cards with us that are Express Plus and you want to move them up, let me know and I can sort that out for you. Later this week, we will publish our pricing per card and how that will work for that submission. That will happen later this week. First of all, I have to look after our current collectors and submitters, and that's being dealt with. We always act in 100% transparency, and we will never do anything differently. This has helped us massively in the past few days, because if we acted in secrecy, if we acted without telling people what was going on, with this whole situation going on, it would hurt us a lot. The submitters know exactly where their cards are, they know exactly what's going on, and that's, in our opinion, the best way to be, that we will always be completely transparent in everything we do, in every step of the way. So that's really important for us. And when it comes to when they're going to reopen, we just don't know. We're in a position to be as fully flexible as we can when they do. However, at this point in time, we know that some will come back before July 1st. We know all of them should all be back by July 1st. Other than that, we don't know any extra information. The only PSA information we have is the information that everyone has access to via their website. So, moving forward, what this means is that we will not be accepting, obviously, any submissions in the meanwhile for those submission levels, because we can't accept it if we don't know when we're going to send it. What we will do instead is we will instead have a two-tiered approach. So what you can do, and this will launch next week and I'll post more details about it, is we will have a pre-order system in place. So what that means is, if you're familiar with the way we run things over here, you send us your submission form, we send it back once we're okay with it, and then you pay. Collectors have the opportunity to have that ready, send that to us and agree that with us, and then as soon as we get news of PSA reopening, they can then pay and send their cards to us. So that will be an option we will open up next week. There will be stipulations around that, because as soon as they open up, we can't be waiting 3 or 4 weeks to send cards out. These will be sent out separately to our current submission. Those cards that are staying with us will be sent out the day PSA say we're back open. We have full flexibility there, and we have the full use of great companies like FedEx, where we can ship them out today and they'll be at PSA tomorrow. So if you are still interested in submitting with us, we can get the pre-work in next week or whenever, and then as soon as we're ready to accept them, we can take them in. Nearer the time, we'll release more details, but we'll probably accept them in for about a week. Once we've got them in at the end of the week, we'll then send out another batch, and once that's happened, we'll then go back to our normal monthly plan schedule. So let's tick off what we've covered. We've covered what's happening with current submissions, we've covered what we're doing about it, and we've covered what we think. Later this week, I will also do a personal video with what I think is going to happen to the market, because I know you guys find that video interesting, and how that's going to play out over the next 3 months. I'll get that out probably early next week, because obviously my number one priority is looking after the submitters that have already submitted with us. They are number one. To anyone watching this, anyone interested in anything, anyone want to ask questions, they are my number one priority. Once I've dealt with every single submitter to make sure they are happy, they have been cared for, and it is understood exactly what's going on, then my next step will be introducing the Super Express service to collectors who wish to do that. That will be late this week, either Friday or Saturday that'll be introduced, opening up next week. Once that is done, I will then be able to reply and talk about all other queries, about my thoughts on the market, about when we're going to start accepting other submissions again, even though PSA isn't open yet, and what our plan is. I've already spoken about that. That is the approach we're taking, and those are the steps. So if you message any of our social media accounts and you ask about, oh, can I submit something through Super Express, what the price is going to be? The reason I haven't replied yet is because we haven't finished sorting out our current submitters. If you message about, oh, I want to add extra, or I want to pre-submit some cards ready for when PSA does open up and be front of the queue, if I haven't replied yet, the reason is because I'm sorting out launching the Super Express service. If I still haven't replied and the Super Express service is launched, I will get to you. It has been unbelievably busy and hectic. It's been a whirlwind of a 24 hours here, and yeah, my head's finally stopped spinning, it's on straight, and we're getting back to doing what we do best, which is providing the best possible service we can for all the collectors we possibly can. I think I've covered everything I want to cover. Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough situation to be in for us as a collector. As a personal collector, the way I'm seeing it is we could have got our submissions off at the end of last week if timelines were different, and PSA tell us this today, and you just see it as, oh, okay, wait times are going to be even longer, it's an extra 2 months. Like, for all we know, and I'm not guaranteeing anything, for all we know, value takes around 8 to 9 months at this point in time. By closing for 2 months, when you send it in, it might only take 6, which means from this point, it's only taken 8. So, in the grand scheme of things, it could be quicker overall. For all we know, it could be 2 months, and then it's still 9 months, and you have to wait 11 months. We don't know. All we know is that basically all this means is longer waiting times. It just means we're waiting with our cards here rather than at PSA. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening to what I've got to say. And as always, please feel free to drop any comments, questions, concerns you have in the comments below. Feel free to message us on our Facebook page and our Instagram page, and we will get to everyone as quick as we can in the order of priority that I've set out here. Thank you everyone for the kind words and messages we've received, and thank you all for understanding the position we're currently in and continuing to trust us at Jim Sports Cards. I've been Jim. This is Jim Sports Cards. Take care.